We're in survival mode here, and that's okay. Hey friend, these are my tips for surviving off your ADHD meds. So it is not uncommon to struggle to get a hold of your medication, especially ADHD meds, which are a controlled substance. So whether you are being forced off your medication like I am, or are intentionally getting off of it to adjust your tolerance or try a new method like therapy, these are my tips to help survive without the meds. With the recent Adderall shortages and Concerta coming out with a generic, and insurances like mine no longer covering the brand name, there's just lots of circumstances making the perfect storm for me to not be able to get my meds since December. So I have been struggling, and here are some ideas for you. I have to mention diet and exercise. I know, boring, right? However, this type of thing can really help any mind with their mental health, but especially people with ADHD. My husband and my sister have found sports and activities that they love, and has really helped them achieve some mental clarity and keep them on a good track. So soccer, mountain biking, hiking. I wouldn't say I've exactly found my ideal thing or my hobby that keeps me active, which everyone should have. There are a few things though that I do. Gardening is for me, however, in my climate, that's not an option for half the year. So especially in the winter like now, I need to look at other options. Swimming, cycling, jogging, yoga, dancing, martial arts. And you gotta remember, don't just pick something that you think will be good for your body or that you heard that other people really like. Pick something that you will enjoy, because you only have so much willpower in a day, and you don't want to spend it all forcing yourself to do a physical activity that you do not enjoy and dread. If you don't enjoy it, you will not continue to do it, or you will and just be miserable. So both of those options are not good. So take a little time to explore. I have another sister who, like me, is not particularly active, and she loves Zumba and moving her body in that way. That makes her feel good and feels a lot more fun. Don't discount exercise, and you don't have to aim big like I have to do 30 minutes 5 times a week. Just get started and do, as much as you feel like doing at a time, and slowly start to build up that habit. It's just going to be so healthy all around. And this movement of your body kind of works to help you in 2 levels. One, it boosts your endorphins, and it's just physically really good for you. And then secondly, it's a great distraction to kind of get your mind off of some maybe negative thought processes and redirect you to something more positive. Again, I'm nowhere near consistent on this. However, I do love going on walks, and just being out in nature just fills me up. So walking, gardening, and then in the winter I run around the couch with my kids. We make a game out of it and play, and that keeps me fairly active. And then those exercise videos you can get for free on YouTube. Body Project is a favorite of mine that I like. Daniel and Alex's channel, it's a lot of fun. I can put a card up here if you have not heard of them, but they do lots of low impact stuff that's not overexerting or miserable. There's music, and coordination and things is not super demanding, and I'm not a coordinated person at all, so it's kind of perfect. And then I don't have to worry about hurting my knees and back. I have a couple issue areas. When I am trying to exercise, I tend to go too hard, injure myself, or I'm miserable, and then I stop for long periods of time. So doing things that are gentle on the body, especially when you're getting started, is really the key. Any movement at all is a huge win. Okay, and then kind of paired with the exercise, diet is also important. Studies have shown that eating starches and sugars really increases your cortisol levels, your stress hormone, can make someone with anxiety and depression and those types of things struggle even more. So you need to watch out for that. The poor diets that in America we often end up falling into cause a lot of inflammation in the body, and that can affect your mood and really impact how your body feels and how your mind feels. So there's a big connection between what you eat and your mental health. So remember to keep that in mind, that the choices you're making for your food is not just about watching your shape, although that could be part of it, but I think more importantly, we need to think about food in terms of how it's going to impact your mind and your mental health. And with somebody with past eating disorder experience, this is key for me, I think, to not get fixated on my body and just focus on my mental health. And when you're exercising and eating healthy for your mental health, your body, that sort of thing will kind of follow suit too, and you won't even have to think about it. So try to make better choices if you can. Just incorporating more vegetables and fruits just is a huge win. Mushrooms, lion's mane, my sister is actually trying to experiment with that to see. There's studies that have shown that that can help with your ADHD too. I haven't personally tried it, but that's an option too. I love mushrooms, so I should probably try that. So just think of it as better quality fuel that you put into your body combined with some body movement and physical activity equals fireworks, star eye emojis, and all the good things. And then I should mention that sleep is kind of the third part of that equation. If you're getting good sleep, then it helps your metabolism and it helps your body take on those sugars and starches without spiking your glucose levels too much, and just all around helps the balance. So you got to keep those key three things in a good place, and that's a great way to start and be at a much better baseline of health. Okay, let's look into supplements. So you've got to try B6. B6 vitamins actually help serotonin production, so that can be great with people with depression or ADHD that don't have a lot of that in their brain, keeping them happy and motivated. Magnesium can help with hyperactivity if that's a symptom of ADHD you tend to experience. Zinc and iron help regulate the dopamine, and it can help with impulse control, memory, attention, all that type of thing. So look into some vitamins and supplements to add to that diet. Managing your physical surroundings. So this is something that I learned is especially affecting people with these cognitive things like ADHD. Your surroundings can really impact your mental state, which explains why that was such an issue for me my whole life. Your state of mind is really impacted. So try to keep things tidy and orderly to some extent. They don't have to be perfectly polished, but when you let things build up and become this mess, piles of laundry, bills piled up that need to be paid, and half-done projects. All of that is competing for your mind's attention. A lot of stimuli and a lot of physical things that you're seeing that are maybe sending you poor messages, telling you, oh, you need to get this done, and this is a mess, and you still haven't fixed that. And all of that is just not good for your mental health. We got to keep that in check. So trying to minimize that stuff, you can get rid of things that you haven't used in a long time, or, be real with yourself if you're going to finish those projects or not, and just try to simplify your space a little bit. Now, on the same token, physical reminders can also be used in a positive way. You can use your environment to influence you by putting like whiteboards on the wall and writing down your to-do list. So you've got physical reminders, sticky notes you can put up to remind yourself of stuff you got to grab on your way out the door, and then daily use items, like if you're like me and you always forget to take your pills, anything that doesn't need to be put away in closed storage, but stuff like that, like if you can't remember your pills, keeping them out on the counter so you see them and are reminded of them can really be helpful with the ADHD mind and forgetfulness. Remember that it's a double-edged sword, that you can use it in a positive way, having a certain item that you have a specific task associated with it visible during certain times of the day, keep you on track. Mindfulness and meditation. This is something that I have always kind of rolled my eyes about because, oh my gosh, it is so hard for somebody with ADHD to quiet your mind and sit still, and we're used to spinning our wheels and trying to get stuff done all the time. But this can really make a difference. I think practicing just a little bit at a time can really make a big difference. And you don't necessarily have to set aside time for it. You can do it while you're standing in the shower, or there's a period in the day where I noticed, oh, I could totally use this time for meditation, and now I forgot what it was. But periods of time when you're sitting down eating, or you've got downtime after you drop the kids off from school, or kind of when you have those quiet moments. I don't know, I had a good idea and I forgot. But just working on it a little bit at a time and starting to kind of build those muscles in your brain is really awesome. And I personally need to work on that way more than I have, but I have seen great results. And really the amazing thing about it is it like kind of changes your brain and allows you to, it's kind of like a reset, clear out this crazy boggled mind that we often end up having. And you can do it when you're laying in bed at night before you go to sleep, and just taking those moments, because you are worth it and you deserve to take these little bits of time out of your day to do something positive for yourself. So don't forget that. Therapy, of course, is going to be great. If there's counseling you can attend, or behavioral cognitive therapy stuff. They have so much digital stuff now you can look at, or even just talking to a friend. My sister gets so much benefit out of calling one of one of us sisters at least once a week and just getting to kind of chat about how things are going. And even though I don't have a degree in counseling, I can provide some comfort to her, and just having, an ear to listen to is amazing. So make those moments for yourself, and again, recognize that you're not wasting anyone's time. These people love you, or are paid to do so, I guess, if it's like a therapist. And you deserve that, and it's going to help your mental health to kind of process, work through these moments, and kind of find some peace and calm. And remember to allow yourself breaks. There's nothing wrong with that. If you are kind of, like I mentioned, spinning your wheels and you feel like you're overwhelmed, you gotta do this and that, it's so hard to kind of stop, but you are worth that time to stop and kind of breathe for a second and just, take a moment to kind of, you don't have to meditate, but kind of think about, okay, why am I so anxious? Why is there all this tension in my shoulders? Like, what's going on? And kind of think through, okay, so I'm worried about this. Is this something that is going to matter in 3 hours or 3 days or 3 years? If the answer is no, then let yourself be free of that and take that time to breathe and move forward. And if things get overwhelming or feel too hard, or you feel like you're really having to push yourself to do it, that motivation isn't there. Take breaks and find ways to make it more fun. Do something nice for yourself. Get a sparkling drink or something and treat yourself, and then get back to it when you feel ready for it. You'll be more productive that way. It sounds counterintuitive, but it will work, promise. Okay, another big thing is trying to create more structure in your life. When you're off meds, structure can be a really core thing to help you feel safe and stay on track and not feel like you're constantly trying to remember all the things you need to do. When you've got some routine and some structure, just setting reminders on your phone to alert you, or doing blocks of time in your day, like this 3-hour block of time, I'm gonna work on housekeeping stuff, laundry, dishes, and then maybe this 3-hour block I'm doing my work from home, and then have another chunk of time where it's just family time, where the kids are home from school, or something like that, to kind of give yourself a mental guide of where you need to be at. Feel like you're getting more done in the day, rather than going all day and then feeling like you didn't get anything done. And then having a planner or calendar obviously is vital. However, one tip I would add is to include stuff that you have on a weekly basis. Even if it's like, well, duh, I have this every Wednesday morning, or my husband goes to school on these days of the week. Even though it's a daily thing, I somehow forget. And so someone calls to schedule an appointment, and I look at my calendar and I say, oh, yeah, we're open, that works. And then later I realize, oh, that's right in the middle of ballet practice or whatever it is. And I can shoot myself in the foot, and then it causes more stress because then I have to call back and try to reschedule. It's a pain. So I recommend including all those things on your calendar, whether it's digital or physical. You may already do this, but I did not think it was necessary, and it turns out it actually is for most of us. So put reminders in your phone to kind of help keep you on track. I like to have my alarm go off about 15 minutes before I have to leave, so that way I've got some time to kind of wrap up what I'm doing and get ready. So just to kind of recap, we talked about diet and exercise, supplements, simplifying and cleaning your environment, physical reminders, meditation, therapy, taking breaks, and adding a little more structure. Again, if you are off your meds, voluntarily or not, I am right there with you, struggling. It's hard because it's very apparent to me that I'm not performing, being as efficient as I would be when I'm on my medication. And that's always hard. Really be able to concretely see the difference and know that you could be doing more than you're doing. However, don't be hard on yourself. I know you tend to do that. Don't do that, because you're doing the best you can, and we're just all in survival mode here sometimes, and there's nothing wrong with that. We're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. So please, if you have any other tips or suggestions, stuff that that you have heard or you use, please leave them down in the comments below and help us all out. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.